is brought to you by Awesomeness. Yeah, that's right. Today's going to be amazing. It's going to be awesome. We got my man, Joe Buckner. I'm going to bring him in here in just a few, but let's get this stuff rolling.
Oh, hey, I'm Alex. I'm Glenn's new social media manager. He'll be here in about 5 minutes, but first I have some announcements for you. Great news, you guys have been asking for it, and it's ready. Hashtag Rise and Grind Elite Master Group is starting now. As a member of Hashtag Rise and Grind Elite, you're gonna get to spend time with like-minded individuals, learn, grow, meet each other, spend 2 hours a week with Glenn every week, tackling any areas of your life that you might need help, whether it's relationships, spiritually, financially. You're gonna talk about all of it. You're gonna get the chance to ask Glenn questions. If you're interested, you need to visit hashtag RiseAndGrindElite.com.
Your network is your net worth. You've heard this saying a million times, and you even understand the premise behind it, and yet you can't seem to connect with the people in life who can help take you to the next level. Well, now hashtag Rise and Grind has the solution. Connect with hundreds of hashtag Rise and Grind members nationwide in the hashtag Rise and Grind Elite Mastermind Group. Led by Glenn Lundy and his incredible network of friends, colleagues, and business associates, as a member of the hashtag Rise and Grind Elite Mastermind Group, you'll have the opportunity to meet twice a week with like-minded individuals who can help you take your life to the next level, professionally, personally, physically, and spiritually. You'll become a part of an elite Facebook group with exclusive access to content that can't be found anywhere else, and have the opportunity to connect with top performers from around the world. You'll get front row access to all of Glenn's previous training programs, future programs, speaking events, and hashtag Rise and Grind University. Listen, for only dollars a day, you'll now have the network you've been searching for. A network of people who rise every single day with intention and purpose, and can help you evolve into the absolute best version of yourself that you can be. Ultimately, making an impact on your friends, your family members, your community, and your life. Join the hashtag Rise and Grind Elite Mastermind and get your fast pass to a life where your network is your net worth.
Hey, are you new to the show? If so, you have got to join us over at the hashtag Rise and Grind Facebook group. There's nothing but motivation, inspiration, and education. We have over 30,000 members, like-minded individuals, inspiring each other every single day. To find us, just head over to Facebook and search hashtag Rise and Grind. Don't forget the hashtag and join our group. You have to check out the Scale to Speed Automotive Academy. We've got Judge Graham, Matt Monero, Glenn Lundy. It's in Dallas, Texas. We're going to do a ton of fun stuff that I'm not allowed to say on Facebook, but we're also going to learn a ton of ways to scale your dealership to the next level. All you have to do is head to swsautomotive.com for all of the details.
There's some crazy things that happen when you come up to Texas, man. You run into guys like Judge Graham, the 9-figure business builder, Matt Monero, the guy who's done $1 billion in revenue, and then you end up in places like this.
In Texas, right, we got cowboy hats, but the big thing we're teaching is how do you build an end game? How do you create recurring revenue? How do you take your business to the next level? What's the legacy look like, Glenn? The automotive industry has been missing this.
I agree, 1,000,000%.
So come and join us in September for the Scale with Speed Automotive Academy, where myself, Glenn, and Judge will work with you for 2 full days to get your dealership to the next level fast.
Great news, hashtag Rise and Grind is now a podcast that you can download daily and listen to it anywhere that you download your podcast. Make sure while you're there, shoot us a comment, like and subscribe, and share with your friends. That's it for today, guys. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of the show. And here's your host, Glenn Lundy.
Good morning and welcome to hashtag Rise and Grind. I am your host, Glenn Lundy. I am a husband to one, a father to seven, and the creator of what is going to be the #1 most watched morning show in the world. It is 5:30 a.m. and I hope that you are ready to rise and grind.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. How are you, my friend? How are you, my friend? Dude, today is Friday. That's right, today is Friday, August 7th, 2020. And what's crazy is today is the very first and the very last time it will ever be Friday, August 7th, 2020. So we got to make sure we make the absolute most of this absolutely incredible day. Listen, we've had an excellent series this week. We've been talking about quarantine and isolation. And ultimately, we've been discovering this fact that isolation is a tool used by the highly successful. Listen, yesterday I had to get some rest battling a sinus infection. I got some rest yesterday. Thanks to my lovely wife, I was able to sit in the room, get some work done in a state of somewhat quarantine and isolation. And during that time, I got to watch this show called Inside Bill's Brain on Netflix, talking about Bill Gates. And I got to tell you, it was fascinating digging in. But one of the things that Bill Gates himself did, it was Bill went out on weekly isolation, or not weekly, but he would go on isolation trips that lasted a week. He would just leave him a bag of books and he would just go sit in isolation for a week so that he could think and create and try to determine what the future looked like. I also spent some time yesterday. I watched an hour of The Last Dance with old Jordan and Pippen, and they also highlighted the fact that pregame, one of Jordan's biggest assets was his ability to be present and the ability for him to just go to a place where he was present. It was just him. He was isolated, even though he was surrounded by millions of people wanting a piece of Jordan. He found a way to isolate himself and go to a place where he was able to grow and he was able to experience this amazing thing called life. So we've been doing this whole series on isolation, and today we're going to dive in a little bit further because my man Joe Buckner, Mr. Joe Buckner, is going to join us on the show today. And Mr. Joe Buckner, he understands a lot about isolation. In and out of prison for a big chunk of his life, he perpetuated a criminal lifestyle until he made a choice. He made a choice. He decided to go a better route. And now here he is, the business owner. He owns a boxing gym called Beautifully Savage in Fort Collins, Colorado. And you may or may not recognize Joe Buckner because if you follow my friend Danelle Delgado, he's actually her trainer out there in Fort Collins. Small world. I did not know that until last night. It just hit me. I'm like, wait a minute, I've seen this guy before. And he was out there training with our friend Danelle Delgado, which most of you guys know here on the show. So we're going to bring Joe in here in just a second, but you know what we got to do around here. You guys know what we do on the show. That's right, we got to do a little dancing. We got to do a little dancing. Hey, for those of you who know, and those of you that don't know, this is the part of the show where I need you to hit that share button. That's right, I need you to hit that share button because I believe if we can change the way people start their day, it'll make a massive impact on this planet. I truly believe that. And sometimes all it takes to change the way somebody starts their day is for you to hit that share button. Also, when we bring a guest in all the way from Fort Collins, Colorado, where it is 3:30 in the morning over there right now, the best way we can honor that guest is to hit that share button. That's right. You gotta like that right there, Joe. You gotta like that, right?
I do like
you gotta
that.
like that. All right, this is also the part of the show where I'm going to say good morning to you, and I want you to say good morning to me. Whether you're watching live or you're watching replay, say what's up. I'll say what's up back. How you doing, Cindy Conley? What's up, Whitney Wells? John Coltonborn's up in here. Michael Guthrie is in the house. Kevin Stroh-Snyder, what's up, my man? Mr. Mike Overfelt's up in here. Don Sankey, Sarah Ball, Eddie Brown, Scott Marziani, Brian Edlin, Spencer Nicholson, my man Scott Simons is in the house. You know, Joe, Scott Simons, who's in here right now, he took Danelle to a boxing match in Vegas. That Pacquiao match, that was with Scott Simons. What's up, Heather Parody? Great to see you. Brantley Soma is up in here. Melvin Rodriguez, Gail B. Craft, Mike Steven, Vicky Everett, Emily Galler, Krista Bug. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. What's up, Don Sankey? Amy Wilkinson Toutman. We've got Mike Romano, Lauren Paquette, Susan Rose is up in here this morning. There we go. And Josh. Oh, that's right. Rick Tamburino, Brad Smith, Jesse I Can Sparkman is packed up in here on hashtag Rise and Grind. We're going to dive in with my man Joe Buckner here in just a second and get this thing started. Let's do this.
Yeah, I'm losing my balance. Got me running in circles around you to please. Yeah, I do what I need to. So pardon my manners, just something about you turns me to a savage. Me to a savage, savage.
Joe, I think that video right there was such high quality HD. My computer was like, it was even like slowing the computer down. There was so much fire in that video right there, man. What's up, man? How are you this morning?
Man, I'm blessed. I'm grateful and humbled to be here with you this morning. So yeah, I'm good. Thank you so much for having me.
Dude, I am so thankful you're here today on hashtag Rise and Grind, all the way from Fort Collins. So we were talking just a bit ago. Right now, it's 3:40 in the morning for you out there right now, and you had to wake up about an hour early in order to join us on the show today. So you typically get up right around now, right around 3:45 typically?
Yes, sir. 3:45 every morning I wake up.
At 3:45 a.m. Now, why is that important to you to get up at that time? This is obviously a morning show. We appreciate and value the mornings, and I like to learn from successful people. I like to learn about their morning routines and what it looks like. So share that with us a little bit. Why is the morning important to you, and what does your routine look like every day?
Yeah, so our first class starts at 5 in the morning. So myself or the coach needs to be there by 4:30. And in the beginning, as an early stage entrepreneur, I was trying to get as much sleep as possible. So I was waking up at 4 o'clock, 4:15. And what I found was when I waited that long to wake up, I was always in a rush to leave the house. And sometimes I leave the house at 4:15 in the morning and I don't come back till 8 o'clock at night because I'm doing meetings or doing private sessions with people like Danelle or other folks. So I don't have the opportunity to just come back home, and I would forget things. I would, leave important materials at home that I needed for meetings. I would forget that I had meetings because every morning I started out frazzled. Right. And I carried that energy into the rest of my day, or I wouldn't eat, I wouldn't drink water. And so I just needed to give myself some time. And, Eric Thomas is probably one of the people that I look up to in this world the most. I've seen you with him before. Yeah, man. And so I started listening to him more, and he's like, all right, I get up at 3. And I was like, well, that's a little extra. But
I feel you, man.
But I figured if I could give myself a little cushion, then I could actually have my routine. I could read my pages, write in my gratitude journal, eat something, drink my water, drink my green juice, and then I can ease into my day the way that I want to.
That's right.
Instead of just frantically rushing into my mornings. And my gym is also a small private training studio. When you're in a small group, energy exudes right through the whole space. So if I show up frantic and frazzled, guess what my members feel? They feel that from me, right?
No doubt.
So I want to show up prepared and ready to win the day.
Yeah.
So I give myself a little bit extra cushion, and it's tough for some people in my life sometimes because it's like, man, my friend said to me, he's like, you don't wake up in the morning. That's the middle of the night. So, yeah, you're right, actually.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. It's in that space that used to be the middle of the night for those of us that were causing a lot of trouble. And now it's early in the morning for those of us that are trying to make an impact in our lives and in other people's lives. I like how you hit on mind, body, and spirit, making sure to hit all three of those every morning. Gratitude, doing some reading your pages, and then taking care of yourself physically with the right foods and the right water. All that's super important. And then that reset is also super important. Now let's back up in reference to the what 3:45 a.m. used to look like for a guy named Joe Buckner back in the early days. So your childhood, you had a rough start, came up from a rough upbringing, and started to make some poor decisions fairly early. I watched a video of yours, which they can find on YouTube. If you go on YouTube, look up Joe Buckner. He's got a video on there. It's about 8 minutes long. And in that video, it just talks about how the first time somebody asked you if you had ecstasy, and you were like not even in that scene whatsoever, but you made a connection, you made $100 real quick, and you were like, I'm done selling furniture, I'm going down this road, right? Which I get that 100%. You're like, I'm going for the easy money, right? And so let's talk about kind of the early Joe Buckner, and maybe help people understand kind of where you come from before we fast forward to where you are today.
Yeah. So, I mean, if we want to talk early Joe Buckner was incredibly gifted. I was touched by God. I was lettered in 5 varsity sports when I was in high school. I ended up playing college football for 3 years. But even when I was a kid, I was just mischievous. I was always getting into trouble, like shoplifting a T-shirt because I didn't have the money to buy it or what have you. And then as an adult, I just kept making choices that put me into this criminal justice system that becomes increasingly harder to get out of the longer and deeper you get into it. And that culminated in that situation in 2005, where I was sent to the Department of Corrections for selling drugs. And that was, I know this sounds weird every time I say it because I hear it come out of my mouth, but it was literally the best thing that ever happened to me in my life.
Yeah.
Because one of the things that happens when you're gifted is you spend most of your life with people patting you on the head and telling you how pretty you are. And so you don't usually get held accountable for things, whether it's your grades, whether it's your actions at a party when you're in college. Like, you just get away with things. And I just kept thinking that none of the rules applied to me. So it was important, number one, to find that out. But I also was already a father by the point that I got in trouble. So then it was important for me to learn that my actions had a ripple effect. I couldn't be that person anymore because back then, 3:45 in the morning, I was just getting started.
Right.
I was out in the streets. I was out in the clubs. I was trying to make money. I was going to an after party. I laughed the other day. I was walking back from teaching class at my gym, and I heard the birds chirping. I actually used to hate that sound when I was in that lifestyle because that meant that I'd spent another night out, and I still wasn't home and the sun was coming up.
Right.
So I couldn't stand hearing birds chirping, but now I live for it because I'm coming home from building my dream every morning, because I actually live downtown now. So I moved 2 blocks away from my gym so that I can get home and eat and do those things in the middle of the day.
Right.
So that I can have a little better quality of life. But yeah, 3:45 in the morning, I used to just be getting started.
Yeah, man. I feel you, and I can connect and relate with you. 1,000,000%. I spent my time in jail, my times in jail. Once you get into the system, like you said, you'll get in, they'll let you out, they'll tell you got to do this, then you don't go do that, and then you get sucked back in, and it just becomes this vicious cycle until you end up spending a little bit a time in there. So let's talk about that. Let's expand on that, where you're saying it was like the best thing that ever happened to you. So when you're in jail, you spend a lot of time in jail. You spend a lot of time alone. You spend a lot of time in thought. All of these different things kind of exist when you're in that, when you're stripped of your freedoms, and the clock just slowly rolls every single day. So you spend a lot of time in there. How transformative was that time in jail for you mentally?
The majority of the time was spent in like county jail, which here I live in Fort Collins, which is a beautiful place. So it's basically like adult daycare. But when you get sent to prison, and I spent the first 6 weeks of that in a maximum security prison in Denver on 23-hour-a-day lockdown. So when you talk about isolation, you're locked in your room for 23 hours a day. And for a month of that, I was locked in there with another person.
Right.
But what it did was, for the first time in my life, I grew up 30 cents away from a quarter, like a lot of people. I was always very, very poor. And so my whole life was spent in survival mode, just trying to get from one day to the next. It's like that movie with Justin Timberlake, In Time. Have you ever seen that movie?
I have, yep.
Right? And so, the people that don't have much time, they're constantly running from place to place to place. But then when he finally gets some time, he gets a few million minutes worth of time or hours worth of time, he starts realizing like, oh, I can walk, I can breathe, I can take my time doing things. Well, I was the first one. I was constantly just trying to survive. So during that time of being locked up, my mentality was simple. I was like, okay, something's broken if this is where I ended up at. I don't want my life to be like this. So what am I going to do with all this time I have alone? Well, I'm just going to work on becoming the kind of man that never comes back here. I'm going to exercise every day. I'm going to read everything I can get my hands on. But the biggest thing that I did was I sat down with a pen and a paper and I wrote what I wanted my life to look like.
I love
and
that.
That was the one singular thing that changed my life, because I'd never been able to slow down and do that before, because I needed to wake up, go to work, try to pay these bills, the ones that I had money for, try to figure out how to, talk to the people that I didn't have money to pay. So every single day was just survival mode. And so during that time in isolation, I really, really got to just sit down and say, okay, man, like, what do you want this life to look like? Because what you're creating right now is not it.
Yeah.
And so that was the biggest part for me, and just getting to really just be with me and, manifest and dream. And because I'd never really done that before. The dream was the NFL before that. And when that went away, there was no dream. It was just like, oh, I guess I'll just figure this out until I die.
Right. I think that's really powerful, and don't miss that, right? So he goes into a prison cell. He's got 23 hours a day to think. He makes a decision, right? What does my life look like so I don't ever come back here again? It starts with a choice, starts with the decision. And then he writes down exactly what he wants his life to look like. Now, I want you to fast forward real quick to where we are today, right? So right now we're in this for those of you that are listening right now we're in this season, right? This season, and things have slowed down in a lot of the different areas, and we have more time than a lot of us have more time than we used to have, right? We have more time, spending a little time in quarantine and isolation. And so think about what Joe just said right there, man. Once things slow down a little bit and life's not so hectic, he was able to use that time to write out what he wanted his life to look like. And he realized there were some components of his life he didn't want to continue with. And there were new components that he wanted to implement when he had the opportunity. And I think that we all have that right now during this season. See, this is what I'm trying to get you guys to understand. Isolation is a tool of the successful. You see, so many people are getting so caught up in the things that are being taken away right now, but not necessarily realizing and focusing and looking at the opportunities that you're being given. You're being given the opportunity to slow down and rewrite what you want your life to look like going forward. I think that's beautiful. I think that's powerful. Let's fast forward. Now you own a gym. You're a trainer to celebrities, including our dear friend Danelle Delgado, who we love so much. So now you own a gym. You're training. You're getting up early. How would you say that the actions that you took in that time in prison, how would you say that helps you still today during this season? Or would you say it does? Like, did it just get you through that season and now you're here? Or does it still help you today?
No, like I said, when I got sent away, by the grace of God, I was sent to after my time in DRDC, which is a maximum security place, I was actually gifted the opportunity to go to a boot camp program, which was for first-time nonviolent offenders.
Mm-hmm.
And that was actually where my life really changed. It is based on the Army's boot camp. It was run by some current and some ex-Marines and Army staff. And it was one of the hardest things I've ever done in my life because, again, nobody had ever held Joe Buckner accountable for anything.
Right.
I mean, I was a 3-year starter in college, and that was just on talent alone. I wouldn't show up to team workouts. I wouldn't do any of the stuff. I was out chasing girls, just trying to be the cool guy.
Right.
I will say, though, if I can go back to one thing you just mentioned, at the beginning of the shutdown, I actually struggled mightily. It was very, very hard for me because it reminded me of being locked up.
Mm-hmm.
I was told I had to stay inside my house. And I remember talking to my best friend. I was venting. He says, like, man, you can go outside, you can read, you can watch a movie. I said, you realize I could have done all that stuff in prison, right? But when I was done, I had to go back into that little cell that someone said I had to stay in. So I actually struggled a lot in the beginning. I had like 3 breakdowns where I was just sobbing uncontrollably.
Wow.
Because my body still had that trauma that I never dealt with from being locked up. And then I thought back to when I was locked up and I said, okay, I have to control what I can control. It's like a rock climber, right? I have to control the 3 feet around me. I can't worry about anything else. So I sat down again and I started writing. Writing is my superpower. And then I remembered I had a 500 gigabyte hard drive. It's black, and I've been carrying it around with me for 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
And I remembered on there was 2 books I'd been working on.
Mm-hmm.
There was a children's workbook. So I started writing down all the things that I haven't been able to accomplish or finish because even coming out of prison, I was still running. Mm-hmm. And I was running as far and as fast as I could from that guy that went to prison.
Sure,
so that meant working 14, 15, 16-hour days. That fallacy that the more hours I put into a day, the more productive I am, the more successful I'll be.
Right.
And I had just convinced myself that I needed to work myself into the ground to make amends for all the problems that I'd caused in my past and in my family's past. And the shutdown actually allowed me to stop, to breathe. I finished the books. I finished the children's workbook, which I'm getting ready to release soon.
Nice.
I launched an apparel site for my gym. Instead of me complaining about the gym being closed, we've got a really strong brand. So I launched an apparel site that actually carried us for 2 months while we were closed.
Beautiful.
And so it really just gave me a chance to say, what are all the things I've been wanting to do, but my crazy lifestyle does not allow me to do? If I'm in the house, I'm not going to be bored in the house. I'm going to do something while I'm in the house. And
That's right.
I don't say all those things to be like, oh, look at all the things I accomplished.
Right.
I said that it actually was cool to slow down. And I'm going to be honest, I wasn't productive every day. Some days I just laid around and watched Netflix because I never do that.
Right. I get that.
And so what it also did was it allowed me to realize that, like, oh, I can still be productive and be successful without running myself ragged every single day to the point where when I get home, I have no energy for my family. I have no energy for my friends or anything other than work. So in terms of what I took from boot camp that helps me now, it was the little things. It was something as simple as every single day your bed had to be made inspection ready. And everyone's bed had to be made that way or they would tear everyone's bed apart and we have to start over. Oh, okay. My actions have a ripple effect on the other people around me, whether we're connected or not. Got it.
Love that.
It was all of your toiletries have to be 2 fingertips apart, right? Every single one. And they would check them. Attention to detail matters. Got it. We had these rubber pillows and crappy toothpaste. And if we wanted better stuff, we would trash or work out for it. And it was horrendous. But it was, if I'm willing to put in time and effort, I can have the things I want without taking the easy way out. Got it. You know, I cleaned showers for $1 a day when I was in prison. $1 every day is what I got paid for cleaning showers that grown men in prison go into. I'm not going to get too into that, but that was my job. And I got paid $1 for that every day.
Wow.
And the reason I did it was so that I could afford a $5 phone card to call my children on Sundays. But what that taught me was anything that's worth having, I'm going to have to earn. So when I came out of prison and took two $7 an hour jobs, and I walked 14 miles every day between these two jobs because I didn't have a bike, I didn't have a car, I had one pair of shoes, a pair of pants, and a shirt. I was humble enough to do that every single day because I was grateful for the opportunity for those $7 an hour jobs. But the guy that went to prison would have never done that. The guy that went to prison would call in sick to work because he didn't have a ride. Right. The guy that came out of prison would have walked 20 miles every day just to have an opportunity to go and earn and get out of that cycle of being in the system. Those same things apply now. Like you and I talked about earlier, I'm the first one, the last one at my gym every day, whether I'm coaching class or whether I'm just hanging out, I'm there. One of my mentors tells me the best fertilizer a farmer can put on his crops is his own shoe boots. So every single day I go to my gym. Even if I don't make it for that class time, I show up and bring my energy to my space. I clean things, I touch things. I just let the universe, God, whoever you want to call it, know I'm here for this 100%. And I want it to be successful. So here I am putting in the time and putting in the effort. All of that stuff happened because of that journey I had to take of coming back. And honestly, anybody that's ever worked for $7 an hour, like when you don't have to anymore, like you'll fight like heck to never go back to that life. So
that is a fact.
You know? So yeah.
Wow, man. That last, I mean, golly, dude, rewind. Go back, watch it again. To my whole team that's going to cut and edit this, that last 5 minutes right there, that four minutes actually, that's some powerful stuff, man. A lot of lessons, a lot of bombs, a lot of gold right there, a lot of value, and a lot of truth, brother. Dude, I love that, man. I love that. I think it resonates and makes so much sense to everybody today. It's just super powerful. So let me ask you this. How is it, what do you think it is about you that, like, how were you able to push through that? So tough childhood, right? Like real tough childhood, then poor decisions, then you're in jail cells. You're not the only person who's ever been through this. There's other people who've had tough childhoods, make poor decisions, end up in jail cells, and they don't come out triumphing, right? They stay in that pain. They stay a victim to that upbringing, that environment. What do you think it is? Like, why is it that some people kind of get stuck there, but yet you were able to push through? I guess what I'm asking is, how do you turn pain into triumph like you did?
Great question. I would start by saying that it begins with my understanding that I'm special, right? And I don't say that in an arrogant way. Everyone is special, but not everybody is willing to acknowledge and admit that they are special. They were gifted this life. And a lot of us are willing to go through it just being mediocre and standing on the sidelines and watching. And I was doing that. But then I would look back at my life and go, everything I've ever done, I've been amazing at. Right. So why am I not being amazing at this part of life? So it's that understanding that if you're special, and if you're special, this isn't the life that you should have. You know, when I came out of prison, I was also homeless in 2013. I ended up homeless. I was sleeping in my car in a city that I was once a star. And even during that time, it was the thought that, like, this isn't you. This is not the life that you were destined to live on this earth. So if you feel you're special, then go out and be special. But the second and most important part is personal accountability. In all my life of getting in trouble, doing things wrong, I can tell you that I've never walked into a courtroom and pled not guilty. If I did something wrong, I said, I did it. What's the punishment? Now, that's not the smartest thing to do in hindsight.
Right.
But that's just how I'm built. If I did something wrong, I'm going to say, you know what? I did do that. How can I make amends for that and make it right? That personal accountability allows me to never be a victim to anybody. It allows me to understand that nobody but me has control over me. And it also gave me the power to understand that if I am the problem, I'm also the solution.
Amen to that.
Right? Yep. And so the last part it's a legacy, right? I was already a father. I'm a son. I'm a brother. I'm a friend. How do I want the people in my life to remember? Do I want them to remember some jackhole that kept going to prison and being away from his family, or
Right.
even if I never made it past those $7 an hour jobs, I want them to remember an honorable man who showed up every day for his family, for his friends, for himself. And maybe he never lived in a mansion or a high rise, but man, did he show up and love the hell out of them every single day, every single way that he could. So it was really about my legacy. But the thing that makes me different than a lot of people that I've seen, because I have a lot of friends that are in and out of the system still,
Right.
is personal accountability. Like I'll hear them say, oh, the county's out to get me. Oh, the cops are out to get me. And I'm like, right, but if you quit committing crimes, they can't get you.
That's right. That's right.
Right?
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm going to Target right now. You know who's not going to get me? The cops. I'm
That's
just going to go buy some new pots and pans. Right? Like,
That's
what are
it.
you doing?
That's
You
it.
know, like, you can't get in trouble if you're not getting, you know,
And it's a lot
and I
easier
was
to
doing
find
bad
you
things.
at 3 in the morning. You know,
Come
when
on.
you're out at 3 in the morning and there ain't nobody else out at 3 in the morning, it's a lot easier for them
Yeah.
to find you.
Well, and you know, Jocko Willink, right? Jocko
Yep.
Willink talks about extreme ownership,
Yep.
right? I didn't know of that term until probably 3 years ago, but I lived it. Even when I was doing those antisocial things, I remember I was with my then girlfriend, and I used to tell her, you know, there's going to come a day when I leave this house and I don't come back. And that is because of the results of my actions right now. So you have to be prepared for that. There's money in the safe for bail and a lawyer, but just know that this is going to happen. I believe that if we understand that we are fully in choice all the time, then it allows us to decide the kind of life that we want. People will say, oh, I want to lose 30 pounds. I'll say, cool. What does that look like every day, though? 30 pounds is over here. What does that look like every day? Are you going to drink half your body weight in water? Are you going to eat more vegetables? Are you going to sleep? Are you going to train 30 minutes a day? Or do you just like, is 30 like this esoteric number that you came up with, right?
Right.
So that personal accountability is also what helped me to just remove myself from that system. And, you know, now I get to turn my mess into my message.
That's right, man. Turn the mess into the message. I love that. You and I have such similar stories. It's crazy, man. I've been homeless, I've been in jail, and I experienced the same thing, man. It was like once I realized that I was the constant in all of those situations. Didn't matter what state I was in, didn't matter who I was around, I was always there. And so if I was there for the bad, I had the ability to create the good, which is awesome, man. So, and just not being a victim, taking responsibility, super important. Excuse me, I've been battling this. This is a morning show, and I have to respect people's time in the morning. Otherwise, you and I could talk forever and ever and ever. So what I'm going to do real quick is I'm going to let a few people out of here. Hang on for just a second, and then I'm going to ask you a couple more questions. I'll let you go because I know you got to get going to your gym as well. So hang on just a second if you don't mind, Joe. Hey, that's my guy, Joe Buckner. You need to do me a favor. You need to go follow him on Facebook. Pour into him. I encourage him, thank him for getting up this morning and joining us here on hashtag Rise and Grind. Amazing, amazing superhuman. The best way we can honor that is hitting that share button to get his message out, and then also follow him, encourage him, pour into him. I am so sorry. I'm going to get through that. All right. So with that said, if you've got to get out of here, I totally get it, man. Think about what Joe was just saying. You're special. You are a child of God, the God of the universe, the God that made everything, made you uniquely with design and with purpose. You have value. You matter. And the decisions you make today, tomorrow, next weekend, all of those decisions, they have a ripple effect. They make an impact on your friends, on your family members, on your coworkers. You showing up and hanging out here with us today has an impact on me and on Joe. We absolutely love you for it. All right, go out there. If you need more videos, you can go to glennlundy.com. We got tons of them up there. If you're listening on the podcast, make sure you hit subscribe. Make sure you drop us a comment so we can see you over there in the podcast world. We might just be able to give you a shout out here on the live show here on Facebook. Make sure to do all those things. Have an amazing weekend. For those of you that are staying, I'm going to go back over here with my man Joe real quick. Joe, 2 more questions for you, and then I'll let you out of here, all right? First of all, I would like for you to tell me about this Beautifully Savage. Now, that name, Beautifully Savage, has to have some, I mean, it's such a powerful name. There's got to be a story behind it. So what is the message behind Beautifully Savage? What does that mean?
Oh, I can't hear you all of a sudden, Joe. Yeah, we lost your audio. Still no. Let me look at. Let me make sure it's not something over on my side. Live output. Live output. Huh. Yeah, I don't know what happened, Joe. But we can't hear you all of a sudden. No, sir. All right, maybe pop. I'm going to pop out and pop back in. Let's see if that helps. Joe is the man, doing some powerful stuff. Love this guy. Love the message. Hope you're finding extreme value in what Joe's sharing with us today. I want to ask him a couple more questions, man. I got to put him up on a mountaintop, and we got to see what his 2-minute takeaway is for the rest of civilization. So hopefully he'll pop back in here in just a second. And then also, I want to know about this beautifully savage thing, right? Like, what's that all about? Such a powerful name. I hope you guys have enjoyed this week here on hashtag Rise and Grind. It's been pretty incredible, pretty powerful week. I hope that now you're taking a maybe look at the situation that we're in and seeing how positive it possibly can be, right? If you just make the choice, make the decision to take this season for what it's worth. Find the value in it, right? The things that you can use and that you can take away out of this season to transform your life, to move it forward. I think that's what the lesson is, and that's what it's all about. So I was hoping Joe would pop back in here, but I don't see him yet. I do see that Emily Gowler has joined us in the hashtag Rise and Grind Elite Mastermind. I do see that, and that makes me super excited. All right, so there's so Joe. Yeah, we've got sound now. Let me put you back on the there you are. Yeah, there you are. Joe's back. All right, beautiful. Yeah, I don't know what happened there, but glad you're back. All right, so tell me about this beautifully savage. What's the what's that mean?
Yeah, so again, about business building, right? I wanted to build a brand more than I wanted to open a gym. I wanted to build something that people would get emotional about. So I came up with all the traditional gym names: Fight Camp, Fight Club, and just none of that spoke to me. And I was just sitting with my friend one day and I said, what about Beautifully Savage? And she said, I love that.
Yeah.
Well, then I had to put some meaning to it. Now, boxing is beautiful in essence, right? Like two combatants who are like, if you could imagine a Canelo Alvarez, a Floyd Mayweather, an Ali in his prime, it's beautiful to watch them navigate a ring, find the right angles to land shots, the defense of a Pernell Whitaker, the grit of a Marvin Hagler, Roberto Duran. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
It's also really savage to ball up your fist and punch another human until they're unconscious. I mean, there's savagery.
No doubt.
It might savage sport that's out there. Life is beautiful, right? Like if you take what you and I have been through and a lot of other people, life can be beautiful, like falling in love, seeing your child born, opening your dream business. Life can be beautiful. Life can also be incredibly savage and will take shots at you, whether it's someone coming down with a terminal illness or what our country's going through right now with the coronavirus things. And life has a way of also being equally savage, like it is beautiful. But lastly, I think human beings are inherently beautiful. My little girl, she's at the splash pad the other day with her big afro out and her swimsuit and her Girl doll.
Yeah, man.
And two come up to her, and one is white and one is Latina, and they say, hey, we really like your doll. Can we play with it? And my Harper looks at me and she looks at them and she says, yeah, that's fine. And they play with it because she has it on this little motorized hoverboard. And then the little girl looks at Harper and says, do you want to be friends? And in that moment, I was like, this is exactly what I mean when I tell people, like, we're all beautiful. Like, we're taught to dislike or hate other people, but here's some 7 and 8-year-old little kids illustrating what human beings truly are at their essence.
That's right.
They've never met her a day in their life, and her initial response to little girls was, hey, do you want to be friends? Not like,
hey little black girl, and my little girl was like, hey little white girl, hey Latina girl. It's like, we are bonding over this American Girl doll. Do you want to be friends?
Right.
So human beings are inherently beautiful, but we all have a little savage in us. Take the kindest, take our friend Danelle, kind, giving.
Right.
If you met with those 3 kids, you would see a whole different human.
That's right.
Right?
No doubt.
Looking the world, smiling. If someone messed with you, your family, your home, they would see a different human being.
No doubt.
I do have this belief that unless we're willing to acknowledge that we have that darkness in us, we can never be whole human. Now, we don't have to get into that darkness, but we at least have to acknowledge that it exists and not live in this positivity paralysis where every single day we have to just pretend everything's perfect and great. Because sometimes life is hard, and it's okay to get into that. But those are the times when I do still go into isolation. Isolation is a regular part of my life. Because if I know I'm going to move through my day and not be kind, and because I'm not feeling good about me or what's going on, I'll just stay in the house. I'll cancel everything and I'll just stay in the house, and I'll make sure that I keep myself away from sharing that energy with other people. That's why the name is Beautifully Savage, because I believe in celebrating the light and the dark and understanding that it exists in each and every one of us.
I think that's beautiful, man. And so true. We all do have a dark side indeed. And it is a dark side that can be kept at bay and should be kept at bay. It should be kept at bay unless you're, Jordan. Tim Grover talks about that dark side in that book, Relentless, and guys like Jordan and Tiger Woods, they had to release that out on the field and on the court sometimes, right? They had to be a savage, and that was valuable in their aspects of life, but you don't want to be releasing that on your wife or your kids. That's for sure. So, man, that's awesome. That's valuable. Here, I'm going to do one last thing, dude. You're so, you and I have a lot to talk about. I'm excited to connect with you, beyond the show. No time constraints. I have a feeling we could sit in a room and just talk for hours and hours. Can we be friends? I want to be your friend. Will you be my friend? Right. But I am going to drop one more thing I want to do with you before we go, is I do want to put you up on top of a mountain. Right? You're on top of a mountain, and all of civilization is at the base of the mountain. Everybody's down there, and they're all looking up at you, and everybody is, they're all cheering. They're like, Mr. Joe, Mr. Joe, Mr. Joe, Mr. Joe. They're cheering, right? It's getting faster. Mr. Joe, Mr. Joe. Ah! And they hand you a mic, and you have 2 minutes. 2 minutes to drop something on them, practical application wisdom that they can apply in their life today, this week, this month, this year. What are you going to tell them?
I'm going to tell them first that love begins with self-love. Because once you love yourself, you have this incredible capacity to love other people, and not in the glass full before you can pour out love, but glass overflowing. Because if your glass is full and you pour out of it, it's not full anymore. But when it's overflowing, you can literally pour from the excess into the rest of the world. And once you love yourself, your fear subsides and you're not afraid to go after things anymore. I would also remind them that this is not a dress rehearsal. This is your life. And every single day that goes by is one less day that you have to make your dreams come true. So you might as well go out and fight for the things that you want in this life. I would tell them, keep faith first, family second. Everything else is just noise. And fight for everything that you love. Because in my case, everything that I've ever lost has claw marks on it. Nothing goes easy. And anything that's worth having is worth fighting for.
Dude. Boom. Mic drop. Super powerful. Love it, love it, love it. Isn't that cool, man? How words, just words and thoughts, if you put them out there with the right energy, you can make an impact in people's lives in less than 2 minutes, man. Joe, you are clearly a child of God. The God of the universe made you to be the best version of yourself that you can possibly be, and you're doing it. You're moving towards it every single day. You're living it, and those choices that you're making, those decisions you're making to live out that life, man, to bring out the special in you is making an impact on your friends, on your family members, on my dear friend Danelle Delgado. You've made an impact on her, and today on our show, you made an impact on me. I absolutely love you, brother.
Yeah, love you too. Thank you so much. Yes, we can be friends.
Yes, I got a new friend, which is what it's all about. All right, well, I'm going to say bye to the rest of these guys. You guys do me a huge favor. Make sure you follow our man, Joe. You got to. Mr. Joe Buckner, owner of Beautifully Savage. Make sure you follow him. Make sure you pour into him. Let him know how much you appreciate him here on #RiseAndGrind. Go out there. If you need more videos, go to GlennLundy.com. If you need listen to the podcast, you can do that. Just look for #RiseAndGrind with Glenn Lundy. You can do that. If you need some more cool friends, join the Rise and Grind Elite Mastermind group at RiseAndGrindElite.com. We're going to kick it off on Monday. It's going to be absolutely amazing. But most importantly, just know that you are loved. So thankful to share the morning with you. And we will see you Monday. I'll be back here again Monday morning at 5:30 a.m. on #RiseAndGrind.
My manners, just something about you turns me to a savage. If I'ma be honest, I can't help but stay, yeah, I'm losing my balance. Got me running in circles around you to please, yeah, I do what I need to. So pardon my manners, just something about